Hello there, my name is Joan Trin Pham, and I'm going to spend the next 5 to 10 minutes just quickly sharing with you how hand analysis, or the modern form of palmistry, is different from the form of palmistry that people usually think of when they think of hand reading. So I think it's accurate to say that most people have an image of hand reading or palmistry, as being synonymous with having gypsy women in tents with crystal balls. And one of the major things that people think of with hand reading is that hand reading is intuitive fortune telling. I'm here to share with you that hand analysis, the modern form of palmistry, the modality that I practice, is not about fortune telling at all, actually. The modern form of hand analysis is all about empowering you to create your own future by understanding the design of your hand and how it speaks to the possibilities in your hand that can be manifested in both a personality and a soul level. So modern palmistry, rather than telling you about your own fortune, is a very powerful and accurate assessment tool to empower you to create your own future. Very specifically, I'd like to give you a tiny bit of history and 3 distinguishing factors that makes hand analysis different from traditional palmistry. First of all, hand analysis has been created by Richard Unger, who has been developing this unique way of reading hands for the past 30, almost 40 years. Richard Unger is the founder of the International Institute of Hand Analysis, and he has developed a very unique way of reading hands that incorporates not only the Eastern traditions of hand reading, but also the Western traditions of hand reading, because we know that this wisdom about reading about people's personalities, character, and psyche actually extends in multi-centuries, across numerous centuries around the world. So he's taken Eastern, Western history and ways of reading hand analysis, has uniquely woven them together with modern understanding of neuropsychology, and developed a system that I have become so completely enthralled with using and practicing, because it opens up amazing conversations about what's meaningful for people and allows them to much more deeply appreciate themselves and feel seen and validated for unique talents, quirks, and qualities that maybe, they get so used to, but having an outside source like me, a stranger, be able to read your hand and tell you this is what you're created for, can be an amazingly validating experience. So that's Richard Unger and how hand analysis was pioneered. This system, which is really, an art and science fused together, has 3 other distinguishing features. First of all, I covered it already in that hand analysis is not about fortune telling. It's about helping people to create their own fortunes by helping them understand how they're thinking and their predisposition to thinking according to the patterns in their hand. When it translates into repeated thinking, belief systems, and action, creates realities. So, the first piece, not fortune telling. The second piece is actually the fact that this system of hand analysis is not intuitive. This is actually the piece that really attracted me to hand analysis. When I first was in a hand reading circle 2 years ago, and Richard Unger said right off the bat that hand analysis is actually a system of pattern recognition, wherein the different patterns of one's hands, and you'll see in hand shape, hand lines, fingers, and also fingerprints, there's very specific patterns that we as hand analysts decipher, see, and recognize on the hand, and it's our work to translate them into the picture of what they mean, so that people can understand themselves better. So in that way, hands are like an organic Myers-Briggs. And finally, in the third way, the thing that I love most about hand analysis is it's actually a beautiful way of contextualizing a person in the body, mind, and soul. And how this works specifically is that in this form of handreading, we read people's fingerprints, which is not traditionally done. In the hand represents this dynamic of the evolving and the eternal. And specifically, the bottom part of your hand, the lines of your hand, shape of your hand, texture of your hand, all of this shifts and changes over time. So your lines do change over time. And how this is significant is because, once again, as I said it, as you think differently, as you perceive your world differently, and as you form new belief systems and act on them and behave differently, the lines of your hand actually change to reflect this. So in this way, the bottom part of the hand represents the connection between the body and mind. The bottom of the hand also is almost like an external PET scan, because it can give us information into what's currently happening now in the realm of, what is your relationship style? How do you connect to others? In the realm of, how do you think and process information? What are the unique talents and abilities that you have that you contribute that you might not be aware of, or that you're already using, but you have an opportunity to explode how effectively you're using your talents by being conscious of them. So that's all bottom part of the hand. Evolving, body, mind. The top part of the hand, like I said, are the fingerprints. And this is what really distinguishes hand analysis, because we read the fingerprints and consider that of all the humans on Earth, you're the only one who has a unique set of fingerprints. These are your fingerprints. Nobody else on Earth has them. They're so unique that the FBI, Scotland Yard, these are all standard identification tools. The fingerprints actually start forming in utero. So before you're born, they start forming on your fingerprints. And by the time you're born, you have these unique fingerprints. And in this system, the fingerprints and the 4 forensic designs represent themes of love, peace, wisdom, and service. And these are the themes of consciousness that we as humans are here to explore and embrace. Each of these themes, service, love, wisdom, and peace, represents a spectrum of experience where, we can experience love in its highest form or love in its most challenging form. They also represent unique fears and challenges that, according to, what kind of fingerprints you have, how many of them, and on what finger, they allow us to really clarify and identify the likely repeating challenges that we will have in our lifetime. Because our work as humans with these fingerprints is to really explore these themes and understand the texture of them, so that we are able to moment make decisions that are really honoring our authentic free will voice, rather than the reflexive inclination to act that might come from fear. It might come from lack of awareness. It might come from thinking that there's no options and that there's no choices. It has to be this way. So fingerprints are a mindfulness tool, really. They are a way for us to decode the unique themes of the unique ways that our attention is likely to be pulled, so that we can practice more mindfulness moment to moment in our choices. So these 3 qualities are the 3 qualities that are unique to Richard Unger's style of modern palmistry, which he names hand analysis. And once again, the 3 factors are the fact that it's not predictive, so it's not fortune telling. 2, it's actually not strictly intuitive. It's all based on pattern recognition, and anyone can learn how to read hands in this way. So it becomes a common language where people come to understand themselves better. And all I do is I act as the interpreter, the translator, as I puzzle together how the unique markers of your hand are likely to come alive and express themselves in your life. And finally, the 3rd factor that distinguishes this form of hand reading is that we read fingerprints. And we read fingerprints in a way that contextualizes your unique soul, spirit, higher self, your conscious purpose of being here on earth. And we read this because it's my goal, it's my hope for everyone to be able to better understand the wholeness of who they are, which incorporates not just their body, not just their mind, not just their heart, but, their soul. What lights them up? What is the unique spark of what they have to contribute to in the world? So for more information about hand analysis, I welcome you to explore my website at www.joantrinfam.com, or I welcome you also to explore the International Institute of Hand Analysis website, in which I will include the links at the bottom. And I thank you so much for sharing your time with me. And most of all, I really look forward to looking at your hands with you and sitting down and appreciating the awesomeness of who you are better, so that you can just so much more enjoy being alive.